final game that I want to teach you is a game called golf. This can be played with as little as 2 people, or we've played up to 5 people. I don't actually know what the max is, but I'm sure you can play with a ton more people and just add another deck. But for this, we're going to teach you how to play a simple 2-player game of golf, and that requires just one deck. Each player is dealt 6 cards. Now, it's important you do not look at these 6 cards. Now, when you get your 6 cards, you line them up 2 at a time. At the very beginning of the turn, you flip 2 cards over, whatever you want to do. I like to flip the bottom 2. Kelsey likes to flip, one from here and one from here, whatever. So we flip the bottom 2, a 7 and a 4. Then, 1 card gets flipped over. You can flip all of your cards one at a time, and you have to leave 1 card face down. Or, if there's a card that you want, you can take it and replace it. Now, the whole object of golf is to get the lowest score possible. The numerical value on the card is how many points they're worth. So right now, with a 7 and a 4, I'd have 11 points. That's not very good. The object you want is to hopefully get 0 points, or sometimes -2, or as low as possible. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. If these 2 cards matched each other, if it was a 7 and a 7, that cancels out, that's 0 points. A king is worth 0 points, so if you have a king and a 2, that's only 2 points. And an ace is worth -2 points. So the ideal is to have a king and an ace, because that's -2 to your whole total score, which is awesome. But for this beginning turn, that 10 doesn't help me at all, so I'm going to flip my next card, which is a 6. Then player 2 flips theirs, and it goes back to me, and I flip, and it's a 3. Player 2 flips theirs, and I go back, and the last card I can flip over is a 5. You don't want to flip that last card over because that signifies your very last turn. So, now begins the process of trying to get rid of these scores. Player 2 now will draw a card. They drew a 7. Now they see I want the 7, so more than likely they'll put it in with theirs somewhere, and they'll discard something, hopefully that I don't need. Like they got rid of their queen because they don't want that. Well, I don't want that queen either, so I draw the next card. It's a 3. This is good because I have a 3 right here. So I replace the 6, and now I have 2 3s showing, which cancel each other out, so that's 0. Player 2 goes, they don't want this 10, they discard it. Then it's my turn. I get a 6, which would have been awesome before, but kind of sucks right now. Now, your choice is, you can either try to whittle your points down, like I have a 7 here, so I could replace that. However, knowing that I just got rid of another 6, and there's only 4 6s in the deck, and I haven't seen any 7s yet, chances are I'm going to stay with that 7. So I'm going to discard that 6. Player 2 goes, discards a 9. Back to me, a 3. Well, again, I already have 2 sets of 3, and I don't really need it. But 3 is pretty good score, so maybe by this point, I don't know, maybe I'll get rid of my 5. The next card I get is a 10. I don't want it. Just drew a 4, so keeping that 7 for no reason, because now I have 2 4s, 2 3s, and a 3. My total score right now that I'm showing is 3. So now if I get a 3 or an ace or something, then I'm going to go out. I got a 2. Very tempting, but I would show a total of 5 points. This is kind of where it depends on where your opponent is. If player 2 is showing more than 5 points, like if they're showing 11 points still, I would probably go out and take the 5 points. If it looks like we both have kind of around the same amount of points, I'm going to try to hold out for the best amount of points. So I'm going to get rid of this 3, put my 2 there. Player 2 goes, now it's my turn, I draw a queen, which is worth 10 points. I don't want that. I finally drew a 2, so I get rid of this last card. Now what happens is, you flip this card over, you can't get this card no matter what. It's a jack. Thank God I got rid of it. However, sometimes the card that you flip over is an ace, and it sucks because you automatically have to discard it. Now it comes to the last player to decide what to do with their card that's flipped over. They could either take the top card that was discarded, which if it's an ace, obviously they'll take it. But let's say it wasn't, okay? They could either take the top card, which maybe it'll match something, or they can draw, or they can just risk it and flip it over and see what happens. So that's the choice of being the person who goes out last. Then, at the end of this, you count up your score. Now me, I'm matching everything. So it's 4 and 4, which is 0, 3 and 3, which is 0, and 2 and 2, which is 0. So my grand total score is 0. But let's say I had the ace. Instead of the 2 4s, I have an ace and a 4. Now that's -2, so this is worth 2 points. But everything else is still a 0, so my total points is 2. Then you shuffle up and you deal again. And you go for 8 rounds, and the person who has the best score at the end of 8 rounds, which again is the lowest score, at the end of 8 rounds, wins the game of golf. That ends my 3 rounds of new card games that I wanted to teach you guys. I hope you had a fun time, hope you learned something new, and I hope you guys actually play these games. If you guys do play any one of these games, let me know if you like it, or if you have questions, or if you think it's the stupidest game ever. Well, I don't want to hear from you. No, that's okay. I like haters. Well, that's about it for this side of 2010. I hope you join me next year, in which we're going to watch more movies, TV shows, play some games, and I'll leave more life lessons for my future kids. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next year.